In the Buddha's era, there was a monk who couldn't stop thinking about his former wife who had passed away. He stopped eating and performing his duties. He was in such bad shape that his brothers brought him to see the Buddha. The Buddha asked him to share the cause of his ailments. The monk replied, "I can't stop thinking about my late wife." The Buddha told him, "This is not the only time you've been full of desire for this woman. Even in the past you were like this, and it brought you great misery." When the monk requested clarification, the Buddha told this story from the past. Once upon a time, many lives ago, there was a king named Assaka who reigned in Portuguese. His queen and chief consort was named Ubari. She was charming, beautiful, and graceful. They spent all their time together and were very much in love. However, once she died, the king was plunged into grief and became sad and miserable. He had the body placed in a coffin and had the coffin set next to his bed. He spent all his time laying on top of the coffin, reminiscing about Ubari. He stopped caring about his appearance and neglected his duties as king. His advisors became very worried for their king and their country. Now, at the same time, the Bodhisattva had been reborn as an ascetic who lived and practiced at the foot of the Himalaya mountains. He had supernatural insight and saw that the king was lamenting, so he resolved to help him. Using his powers, the ascetic arrived at the king's park and sat down on an auspicious stone. A young Brahmin saw him, and they began a pleasant conversation. The ascetic said, "Is your king a just ruler?" The Brahmin said, "Yes, but his queen recently died, and he's been sleeping on her coffin for 7 days now. You seem to be one of much power. Can you help our king overcome his grief?" "I do not know your king, but if he were to come and ask me, I would tell him where his queen is now and make her speak." The Brahmin was excited and went to tell the king. When the king heard this, he suddenly had hope and rushed to see the Brahmin. "I am told you know where my queen has been reborn." "Yes, I do, my lord king." "O king, when she was alive, she was so intoxicated by her own beauty that she neglected to focus on doing fair and virtuous acts. So now she has been reborn as a dungworm, living in this very park." "I don't and will not believe this," said the king. "I can show her to you and make her speak," said the ascetic. "Tell those two rolling a lump of cow dung to come before the king," the ascetic commanded, pointing to the 2 workers in the park. The ascetic pointed to the cow dung and said, "There is your queen Ubari. She's just come out of this lump, following her husband the dungworm. Take a close look." The king cried, "What? My queen Ubari as a dungworm? I don't believe it." The ascetic, using his supernatural powers, gave Ubari the dungworm the power of speech. The ascetic addressed her. "Worm, speak the name and position of your former character." The worm, respectful of the holiness of the ascetic, responded, "My name was Ubari, sir. I was the chief consort of King Assaka." The ascetic, wanting to show the king the truth that comes with rebirths, asked, "Tell me, Ubari, who do you love more now? King Assaka or this dungworm?" "Holy sir, King Assaka was my love in a former life. He was dear and beloved to me. However, rebirths have clouded and confused my memory and feelings. He is like a distant dream to me. But now, in my new life, new joys and new sorrows have filled my memories and feelings. My current life is what's real for me. I cannot live in the shadow of a distant memory. My worm husband is all there is for me now. If my husband wished it, I would kill King Assaka and use his blood to clean my husband's feet." Upon hearing these words directly from Ubari in the form of a dungworm, the king realized the truth. He was holding on to his memory and his feelings. He projected his feelings and fantasies on Ubari, who had moved on in her rebirths. As real as their love was, it no longer existed. Ubari, in the form of his human queen, no longer existed. If he truly loved her, would he still love her if she didn't love him? If he truly loved her, would he love her if she were a worm? He realized that his love was selfish, conditional, and temporary. He saw clearly that all the suffering he felt was from his refusal to let go. So, he let go. Back at the palace, the king washed himself thoroughly and put on new clean robes. He ordered the queen's body to be removed and for his room to be cleaned. He removed all traces of Ubari in order to move on. The king was grateful to the ascetic for helping him see the truth. He paid his respects and went back to the city. He eventually married another queen and ruled in righteousness. The Brahmin was eventually reborn as the Venerable Sariputta. Ubari was eventually reborn as the deceased wife of the lamenting monk. The sad king was eventually reborn as the lamenting monk. And the wise ascetic was eventually born as the Buddha. What do you think the moral of this story is? We hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you did, and click subscribe if you want to see our uploads.